So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing Crawley Town versus Bradford City. Then in the second part of today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my Game Week 1 League 2 score predictions. We're back for another season. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try to 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your score prediction for Game Week 1 and what would your starting 11 be for this match. Obviously, we've got a couple injury concerns going into this one. Our pre-season has been very hit and miss, and we're back to preview it all once again. Now, obviously, the first 5 matches of the season, the previews are slightly different to the other 41 league matches, and obviously any cup matches they are previewed exclusively to Tier 3 channel members. Make sure to go check that membership scheme out if you haven't already. But we're back today for another preview, another season, and I'm really excited for this season. While I'm not too confident about Bradford City's performances, covering Bradford City and all the League 2 content on this channel, I'm very happy to be back once more. I mean, there's been loads of content coming out over the past couple of weeks, and there'll be loads coming out for the rest of August. There's a plan to have a video every single day in August, and then going forward into September, I'm trying to get at least one main channel video out every single day, and even on some days you will have double uploads, so make sure you go back and check in your subscription box if you have missed any videos. That's a long intro. Make sure to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe if you are new as well, and let's get into it. Channel memberships are now cheaper than ever, with Tier 1 costing just 99p. Tier 2 has been reduced from $3.99 a month down to $1.99 a month, and Tier 3 has been reduced from $8.99 a month down to just $4.99 a month. Your support, as always, is massively appreciated, and the more members that we have, the better the content will be. Enjoy the rest of the video. So the match previews this season will be structured very similarly to the way they were structured last season, but obviously no games have been played right now, so we can't go check the league table, the form and all that sort of stuff. One thing I do just want to quickly go through is the main talking points from Mark Hughes' pre-match press conference. Obviously this is coming out on the Friday with the amount of content I've been bringing you over the last couple of days. This is really the earliest time of being able to do that. It does mean that the press conference has been on gun. Jamie Rayner tweeted saying Sam Stubbs is a doubt going into Saturday. He took a bang on the knee at Rochdale. Poynton has had trouble with his groin but trained today, and Kevin McDonald might not make Crawley, but Hughes will make a late call, which when Hughes ever says he's making a late call, that probably means they're not going to be involved in the matchday squad. Hughes says they decided against the bounce game with Rotherham in the week after a few niggles from Rochdale. Instead, they played an in-house game of 3 20-minute sessions on Tuesday. Tyler Smith played one of those 20 minutes and Kevin McDonald played 2. Verden Oliver is back in the building after groin surgery. Hughes says he's 8 weeks away. Harry Chapman is back on the grass. He suffered no setbacks and is on track, but obviously we still don't know what's going to happen with Harry Chapman's ban. And the final thing from the pre-match press conference that Jamie Rayner tweeted is same message from Hughes, RE loan market. They remain hopeful of going into it, but will likely be towards the back end of the window. I still think we could do with another 3 or 4 signings, in my opinion. Obviously, we've already got one loan in, so to get another 3 or 4 in would be really nice. I mean, one more permanent transfer I don't think would hurt us all too much, but yeah, certainly some interesting things to take away from the pre-match press conference. Now we're going to get into what my starting 11 would be if I was Mark Hughes. So a lot of the time last season we were going through a 4-2-3-1, a 4-diamond-2. This season it finally looks like we're going to be able to see that 3 at the back. We've played it throughout all the pre-season, this 3-5-2, and I'm really excited to see how we get on for it. Obviously, like what I say, I am going to line up in a 3-5-2. In goal will be Harry Lewis. He was unreal for us last season, and I hope he can continue that form into this season. There were strong rumours a couple of weeks ago he might be going to Barnsley. Pre-season for him hasn't exactly been great, to be honest with you. You know, he's not really had too much to do in a lot of the games. I think the game against Hull, he was really impressive, but apart from that, hasn't really had too much to do. You know, some of the goals he's conceded, can't really do all too much about. Against Getafe, I thought he was absolutely shocking, especially in that first half. But overall, I think Harry Lewis has been solid again in pre-season, unreal for his last season, so he has to be in between the sticks. Into the back 3 then, Sam Stubbs would be starting for me, but obviously he's going to be unavailable. So on the right side, I would go with Timmy Odesina. He's got that recovery pace that we need. The only one of our 5 centre-backs who have got that recovery pace, and he has to be in this back 3 for me. He's been unreal in pre-season, so he absolutely has to start in my opinion. In the centre, I would go with Matty Platt. Again, I think he's been pretty decent so far, solid in pre-season, massively overhated by some of our fan base. I personally like Matty Platt. I think he's our second best centre-back behind Sam Stubbs in my opinion. Did really well for his last season. Yes, had a couple shaky moments and shaky games, but so did everyone last season. Even Banks, Critchley, even Andy Cook had some bad games, and Harry Lewis. So Platt for me was always really consistent, really solid, and he has to start in the centre of that back three, because I think Odysseina's the one who you probably want on the wide side, just because he's got that pace, and Platt in the centre just makes sense. On the left side, I would go with Kieran Kelly. Now, if Sam Stubbs was to be fit, he would start over Kelly, in my opinion, and then you'd have Platt on the right, Stubbs in the middle, and Odysseina on the left. But Kelly, for me, like what I've said throughout all the pre-season, he's not bad. He's going to be a 6 or a 7 out of 10, but he's very raw. Some of his decision making is very rash at times, and that might cost us throughout the season. But I think for now, while Stubbs is out, unavailable for selection, Kelly's not a bad option, and with him being left-footed, he does give you that balance on that left-hand side, and he's fairly big, he's built, so he should be able to be a decent threat from set pieces. Into the two wing-backs then, on the right side, I would go with Daniel Oyegoke. Now, it's a massive toss-up between him and Brad Halliday. I think against the better teams who are going to be up there this season, you play Brad Halliday because he's better defensively, but against the teams that are lesser and perceived to be down there this season, I think you do go with Daniel Oyegoke because he is a little bit better going forward. Now, he was liking my tweets in the middle of the week, so if you're watching, Dan, thank you very much. But in pre-season, he's been very hit and miss. He'll do something really good, like he'll take 3 players on and then he'll just pass it to our goalkeeper or something crazy like that. Like, he does something really well and then he just does something really stupid. And I've described him as a firework at times because you just don't really know what he is going to do, to be honest with you. I think when he's good, he's very good and he looks good going forward, but defensively, he has been pretty shaky at times. On the left-hand side then, this was the hardest position for me because I absolutely do not like Liam Rydal. I think he's a shocking footballer. I mean, don't like him as a person because I've never met him, but as a footballer, I think he's absolutely terrible. I think giving him a new contract was a ridiculous decision. Gilead, while he can do a job there, it's not his natural position and he looks a little bit uncomfortable there, in my opinion. So Clark are those your next best option, to be honest with you. I think that's a position we really do need to improve in. Obviously, we brought him in as a left wing back. He's openly come out numerous times and said he doesn't want to play there and he wants to play as a number 10. But what I've seen from Clark Adore is not really too much. He does the simple things. He's more than happy just to pass the ball sideways and backwards, but I think he needs to be a bit more creative in his play. Put a brilliant ball in for Andy Cook's second goal against Middlesbrough, and hopefully we can see more of that from Clark Adore, because I think there's certainly a player in there. He's still very young and it might not be his natural position, but I think for now he is our best option. He gives us a bit of pace on that left hand side as well. Into the 3 midfielders then, I've gone with the holding midfielder, 2 number 8s and 2 strikers, because I know we've played a couple of variations. We've played like a 3-4-3 at times with 2 central midfielders, 2 like inverted 10s and a striker, but I've gone with the holding midfielder, your 2 number 8s and your 2 strikers. In that defensive midfield role, I've gone with Richie Smallwood. I think the team that for the large part is pretty inexperienced, so you need someone with his experience in there. He is the club captain as well. I really like Ryan East, but I don't think he's done enough in pre-season to dispossess the captain. His set pieces are either really good or really terrible. You never really just get an average set piece from Richie Smallwood, but he's got a few goals from set pieces in pre-season, so I like to see him get the start once again. Into them 2 number 8 positions then, firstly I've gone with Alex Patterson, one of our marquee signings in the summer. I was really impressed by the signing. In terms of his actual performances in pre-season, I haven't really been too impressed, but when he played in this formation against Bury, he looked really good. Since we've been playing him in like a pivot with Smallwood, he's not really affected the game all too much, because I think he's much better going forward, picking the ball up, beating players, winning fouls, and I think that is his best position, getting forward and getting shots off, and I think in this system it would suit him very nicely. And partnering him, I've gone with Jamie Walker. I think he's been our best player in pre-season. I didn't rate Jamie Walker a lot last season, but this year I've been so impressed with Jamie Walker and he absolutely has to start for me. I think he's one of the first names on the team sheet. Fingers crossed he carries on his pre-season form into this season, gets into double figures for both goals and assists, and I think in this system it would get the best out of Jamie Walker. So for me personally, I go with the midfield of Richie Smallwood, Alex Patterson and Jamie Walker. And my 2 strikers then, I think one is going to be very controversial, starting out with obviously Andy Cook, last season's Golden Boot winner, 31 goals in all competitions. He's going to be looking to try and win that back-to-back. He's got a lot of competition now in the league with Langstaff, Mullin, McGoldrick, lots of very quality strikers in this league, but he'll be wanting to prove everyone wrong once again and win that Golden Boot. And partnering him, I've gone a little bit rogue here. I've gone with Matt Derbyshire. Now, Tyler Smith hasn't featured in a number of pre-season games recently and didn't really feature too much in training. I think Mike Hughes said he played 20 minutes in an in-house bounce game on, I think he said Tuesday, so he's not really fit enough to start. And Derbyshire, for me, he's looked good so far in pre-season. We've seen some nice glimpses of Derbyshire, and a lot of the time he's been playing up front on his own. So for me personally, I think he could work well in a pairing with Andy Cook. I know it's not the quickest strike force, you don't really have anyone to stretch, but you've got the legs in midfield from Patterson and Walker to do that. And Cook and Derbyshire, the 2 very, very good finishers. While Derbyshire's movement is pretty limited, if a chance drops to him in the box, he's probably going to take it. So if you give Derbyshire maybe half an hour, 65 minutes, and then bring someone like Tyler Smith on off the bench, I think that could work really well. On the bench then for me, that would leave Heath Richardson, obviously obviously this season we are going to need to have at least one homegrown academy graduate on the bench this season. We didn't have to have that last year because we sold a certain amount of academy players, I think, to Premier League clubs or Cat 1 academies. I don't really know how it works, but this season, I think while Poynton's out injured, Heath Richardson makes the most sense to have him on the bench. Also on the bench for me would be Brad Halliday, Ash Taylor, Ryan East, Alex Gilead, Emmanuel Sidibe and Tyler Smith. I think we're very light in attacking options, to be honest with you. I'd like to take out one of East or Gilead and have another number 8, number 10 or striker on that bench. So I think we could do with another attacker, in my opinion. Obviously, the injured players at the moment are Sam Stubbs, who's got that bang on the knee versus Rochdale. Viden Oliver, who's got that groin injury, going to be out for another 8 weeks. Harry Chapman still injured, and Bobby Poynton is also probably going to be out with that groin injury, which means the players just missing out through selection would be Colin Doyle, Luke Hendry, who's probably really harsh to miss out on, to be honest. I think he's been pretty solid so far in pre-season at right centre-back. Harvey Rowe, Liam Rideout, Kevin McDonald and Dylan Yumby. There's my team. If you disagree, get yours down in the comment section down below, and if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Now then, let's get into my Game Week 1 League 2 score predictions. Obviously this season there is 6 new teams in the league, and with Game Week 1 as always, it's almost impossible to predict because you've got no form, no previous results to go off, so it's basically just gut feeling. Starting out then with Accrington Stanley versus Newport County, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Colchester United versus Swindon Town, I'm also going to go with a 1-1 draw. Crawley Town versus Bradford City, it just would be the most classic Bradford City result ever to lose this game 1-0, so that is what I'm going to go with. Crewe Alexandra versus Mansfield Town, I'm going to go with a 3-0 away win for the Stags. Doncaster Rovers versus Harrogate Town, I'm going to go with a boring 0-0 draw. Forest Green Rovers versus Salford City, I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for Salford. Grimsby Town versus AFC Wimbledon, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Grimsby. Morecambe FC versus Walsall FC, I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Walsall. Stockport County versus Gillingham FC, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Stockport. Sutton United versus Notts County, I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for Notts County. Tranmere Rovers versus Barrow AFC, I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. And Wrexham AFC versus MK Dons, I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for MK Dons in that one. I'm going to leave it there though for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your score predictions for Game Week 1 and what would your Bradford City starting 11 be for this match against Crawley Town. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.